Hi, I'm from Badger Basket, here to go through the assembly instructions for the multi-bin storage cubby. Before we get started, make sure you look at all the pieces included. If you're missing anything or have any damaged parts, please contact Badger Basket as shown in the end of the instructional video. And also, note that this comes in multiple colors, but the instructions will be the same. So let's get started. For step 1, you need part A, the left side, part B, the bottom, 2 of part C's, which are the bottom dividers, and you need 6 of the M screws. So first what we're going to be doing is put on the left side panel onto the bottom. When looking at the bottom panel is going to have the one that has the 1 groove and the 4 screw holes. What we need to do is to make sure that this groove aligns with the groove on the left side panel. Now the left side panel, this groove is going to go towards the inside to make sure it aligns with this one. And what I'm going to be doing is screwing these 2 pieces together. I'm going to kind of hold them up like so. Now these 2 screw holes here at the bottom of this left side panel are going to go into the side of this bottom panel. So when you put them together, we're going to screw from this side to hold these 2 together. Again, making sure that this groove is consistent with both pieces. So I'm going to get both of these screwed into place. And for this demonstration, I am going to be using a drill. If you'd also choose to use a drill, please make sure you have the torque setting set on low. Otherwise, feel free to use a hand Phillips screwdriver. Next, what we're going to be doing is putting the dividers onto this bottom panel. When looking at the dividers, you're going to see this curve that's going to match this left panel curve that we already put into place. These 2 holes at the very bottom are going to go into these 2 screw holes on each side here with both the dividers. So we're going to line it up like so. So again, this curve is matching this curve. And we're going to put the 2 screws from the bottom of the bottom panel going up into these dividers. So I'm going to do that with both of these dividers and get all 4 screws put into place. For step 2, you will need part D, the shelf, part E, the front, 9 of the M screws, and 1 of the O pegs. So first what we're going to be doing is putting on the shelf. When looking at the shelf, you're going to see that the shelf has a groove on both sides. What we want is the side that has the 4 indented holes to be facing upward. The other side that only has the 2 indented holes, we want facing downward. So it'll be going on like so. Now there's 2 holes on this edge here that are going to align with 2 holes here. So we're going to screw from this side to hold this shelf into place. Then we're also going to be screwing down into those dividers with these 4 indented holes. So we're going to put all 6 screws into place. Next, what we're going to be doing is putting on the front. When looking at the front, you're going to see that there's the 2 indented holes. That's going to be facing outwards. The 2 holes that are not indented are going to be facing inwards towards the cubby. So it's going to be going on the front like so. On this end here, there's 2 holes where this front will be going into. The bottom hole we're going to be putting a peg into to hold that front into place. The top one is a screw hole that we actually will screw into. So we're going to screw into this top hole here, and then the 2 holes here, which will screw into the front on this bottom panel. To make this a little bit easier, I'm going to tip this down on its side here. And I'm just going to lay this on top. So again, there's going to be 2 screws going down here. We're going to be putting a peg into this bottom one, into this side here, and then we're going to screw into that top hole. So let's get all 3 of these put into place. For step 3, you will need part F, the shelf trim, part G, the top divider. You will need 2 of the M screws, 1 of the O pegs, and 2 of the N screws. So first what I'm going to be doing is putting in the top divider. Now when looking at the top divider, you're going to see 2 holes on both ends. Just make sure that 2 holes align with the 2 holes in the center of this shelf. So it's going to be sitting up like so. Those 2 indented screw holes that we saw before on the bottom of this shelf is where you're going to be screwing up from. So you're going to be screwing going up into that top divider. Now for this one, you are going to be using the M screws, which are the thicker screws. So when this is in place, we're going to screw up from the bottom with those thicker screws into both of those holes. So let's get this screwed in. Next, what we're going to be doing is put on the front trim. When looking at the front trim, you're going to see 2 indented holes. That's where the smaller of the screws, so the end screws, are going to be going through and up into this top shelf here. Now the top shelf has 2 pre-drilled holes. You'll see just on the outside of each of these dividers. They're a little bit smaller, so you have to look for them, but that's where those smaller end screws are going to screw up into. Now we're also going to be putting a wooden peg into the end of the trim here, which is going to be going into this side panel to hold into place. So first we'll put in the wooden peg, put it into this side panel, and then we're going to be drilling upward with those smaller screws. So let's get those screwed into place. For step 4, you will need part J, the bottom back. So next what we're going to be doing is putting in this bottom back panel. This bottom back panel is going to be going into these grooved lines that we have aligned in the first couple steps. We're going to put this back panel into the grooves on the bottom and onto the shelf, and we're going to slide it all the way across, making sure that it's staying in that groove. So let's get this slid all the way to the end, and then make sure that you push it all the way so that it goes into the groove on this side panel as well. For step 5, you need part K, the right side, part I, the top back, part H, the top, 11 of the M screws, and 2 of the O pegs. So first we're going to start by putting on the right side. Now this right side is going to mimic the left side, except we're going to be putting in kind of everything at one time. So first I'm going to put the wooden dowel into this trim, just as we did on the other side, and the wooden dowel is going to go on the bottom of this front panel here. So then what we're going to do is put this whole right side, making sure that this back panel goes into this groove, and we're going to first get those pegs put into place. So once those pegs are put into place, we're going to put in 5 screws into the 5 holes that you see. Now these should be the indented holes, which is going to hold everything together. So let's get all 5 of these screwed into place. Next, what we're going to do is be putting on the back top panel. So for this top back panel, What we're going to do is we're going to slide it going from the top down, following these grooves on both of the side panels, all the way down, pushing it down, making sure it's firmly down into the groove on this shelf. Then lastly, what we're going to be doing is putting on the very top. Now when looking at the very top, you'll see one side that has the groove. The groove needs to go to the back because this is where the top back panel is going to slide into. So that will be facing downward. And we're going to place this right on top here, making sure that you get that top back panel into that groove. Once it's down, you're going to see 6 indented holes on top here. What we're going to do is we're going to put the remaining 6 screws into each hole and screw this whole top shelf down. And that concludes the assembly for the multi-bin storage cubby. Remember, if you have any questions or concerns, to please contact Badger Basket as shown in the next clip. Badger Basket thanks you for watching and enjoy.